Every person who ever achieved greatness, whether in business, sports, or life, began with one powerful decision, the decision to discipline themselves when no one was watching. Motivation can light a spark, but only discipline keeps the fire burning. Success doesn't belong to the most talented or the luckiest. It belongs to those who refuse to quit, who show up consistently, and who keep moving forward even when progress feels invisible. This audiobook is about becoming that person, the one who disciplines themselves until nothing can stop them, the one who no longer relies on moods, feelings, or external validation, but instead builds an internal engine so strong that success becomes inevitable. And this journey begins with the very first step, the step that gives meaning to all the rest. Without this foundation, discipline feels like struggle. With it, discipline transforms into power. Step 1. Define your why with absolute clarity. Imagine two people at the gym. One is lifting weights because they feel guilty about eating junk food. The other is lifting weights because they want to be strong enough to play with their kids for decades to come, to stay healthy so they can live longer, to set an example of discipline for their family. Who do you think will keep showing up when it gets hard? The second person, because their why is stronger. This is the secret most people miss. Discipline without purpose is torture. Discipline with purpose is freedom. Why your why matters. Human beings are wired for survival and comfort. Our brains are designed to avoid pain and seek pleasure. That's why it's so hard to wake up at 5 a.m., go to the gym, study for hours, or build a business from scratch. Your brain whispers, stay in bed, take it easy, you deserve rest. But here's the paradox. Those who give in to comfort today pay for it with discomfort tomorrow. The person who avoids effort ends up with regret. The person who avoids saving ends up with financial stress. The person who avoids discipline ends up with a life they never wanted. Your why is what flips the script. It gives your brain a reason to embrace the pain today, because the reward tomorrow is worth it. When your purpose is clear, you no longer see sacrifice as punishment. You see it as progress. How to discover your true why? Here's a practical exercise. Visualize your future vividly. Close your eyes and ask yourself, if I stay the way I am now, where will my life be in 5 years? Be brutally honest. Picture your health, finances, relationships, career. Then flip the script. If I commit to discipline today, where could I be in 5 years? This contrast is powerful. It forces you to confront the cost of laziness and the reward of discipline. Ask the 5 whys. Take any goal you have and ask, why do I want this? Then for every answer, ask why again, 5 times. Example, I want to get fit. Why? Because I want to look good. Why? Because I want to feel confident. Why? Because I want to stop hiding from life. Why? Because I want to be free and live full. By the 5th why, you uncover the real reason behind your actions. That reason is your emotional fuel. Write a personal mission statement, not just a to-do list, but a declaration of who you are becoming. Example, I am a disciplined individual who is building wealth and health to give my family security, to serve others, and to create a legacy of strength. Read it daily. This keeps your purpose alive. Real-life examples. Think of Elon Musk, working 80-100 hours a week, sleeping in factories, risking all his wealth. Was it fun? No. Was it comfortable? No. But his why, to push humanity forward through sustainable energy and space exploration, was bigger than comfort. Think of Serena Williams training for hours every day, through pain, through injury, through doubt. Her why, to be the best, to leave a legacy, to inspire millions, kept her on the court when others would have quit. Ordinary people quit when things get uncomfortable. Extraordinary people keep going because their why makes the discomfort worth it. The emotional power of your why. Your goals need to connect with emotion, not just logic. Logic says I should save money. Emotion says I never want to see my children suffer the way I did growing up. Logic says I should get fit. Emotion says I refuse to lose years of my life to disease and weakness. Discipline thrives on emotion. If your goal doesn't move you emotionally, it won't move you consistently. Turning your why into daily discipline. Once you've defined your why, don't let it gather dust. Use it. Post it on your wall. Set it as your phone background. Remind yourself of it every morning. When your alarm rings and you feel like staying in bed, look at your why. When you're tempted to waste money, look at your why. When procrastination whispers in your ear, look at your why. Discipline doesn't come from willpower alone. It comes from reminding yourself every single day of the life you are building and the person you refuse to remain. Step 2. Master the art of self-control. Building inner strength that outlasts any challenge. If step 1 was about defining your why, step 2 is about building the muscles of self-control, the invisible force that makes discipline possible. Most people underestimate self-control. They think discipline is just about grinding harder, working longer, or saying yes to more things. But the truth is, discipline is less about doing everything and more about controlling yourself so you can do the right things consistently. Without self-control, your why from step 1 becomes just words on paper. With self-control, your why becomes a lived reality. The myth of motivation. Let's start with a harsh truth. Motivation is a liar. Motivation tells you, "I'll be here for you every morning," but then it vanishes when your alarm goes off at 5 a.m. Motivation tells you, "I'll push you through the hard days," but then it disappears when you face rejection, fatigue, or boredom. This is why so many people quit. They rely on motivation instead of building self-control. Think about it. How many gym memberships are bought in January out of motivation, only to be abandoned by February? The rich, the successful, the disciplined, they don't rely on motivation. They rely on systems of self-control. Understanding self-control. Self-control is the ability to direct your thoughts, emotions, and actions, even when they go against your impulses. It's choosing what's right over what's easy, what's important over what's urgent, what's long-term over what's short-term. It's saying no to fast food when your body craves sugar. It's saying no to impulse spending when your brain craves dopamine. It's saying no to distractions when your mind craves comfort. But self-control isn't about living a boring, joyless life. It's about regaining power over yourself, because when you don't control yourself, something else controls you. Your laziness, your addictions, your impulses, or even the agendas of other people. The science of self-control. Psychologists often compare self-control to a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. But if you don't train it, it weakens. Here's the good news: you can train self-control just like a muscle. Every time you resist a small temptation, you're strengthening your discipline for bigger battles. For example, choosing water instead of soda isn't just a health choice. It's a discipline rep. Turning off Netflix after one episode isn't just about time. It's a discipline rep. Delaying a purchase until you can afford it isn't just about money. It's a discipline rep. Over time, these small reps compound into extraordinary self-mastery. Common traps that destroy self-control. To master self-control, you must first identify the enemies that weaken it. Decision fatigue. The more decisions you make in a day, the weaker your self-control gets. That's why successful people simplify their lives, like Steve Jobs wearing the same outfit daily. It's not about fashion. It's about conserving willpower for what matters. Distractions everywhere. Social media, notifications, endless entertainment. These things are not harmless. They train your brain to expect instant gratification, and instant gratification is poison to discipline. Lack of boundaries. If you don't set rules for yourself, the world will set them for you. Without self-imposed limits, your impulses win every time. Unclear priorities. If you don't know what's important, everything feels urgent. And when everything feels urgent, you get pulled in 1,000 directions, losing control over your time and energy. Practical frameworks to build unshakable self-control. Now let's get tactical. Here are proven strategies to strengthen your inner power. 1. The rule of delay. Whenever you feel the urge to indulge, whether it's eating junk food, scrolling social media, or spending money, delay it for 10 minutes. Most impulses fade with time. If after 10 minutes you still want it, make a conscious choice, but most of the time you'll regain control. 2. The 2-minute rule. If a task feels overwhelming, start with just 2 minutes. Want to exercise? Do 2 minutes of push-ups. Want to study? Read for 2 minutes. This tricks your brain past resistance. Once you start, momentum often carries you forward. 3. Temptation bundling. Pair something you should do with something you want to do. Example: only listen to your favorite podcast while exercise. Only drink your favorite coffee while working on your side hustle. This rewires your brain to associate discipline with reward. 4. Environment engineering. Self-control doesn't just live in your brain, it lives in your environment. If junk food is in your kitchen, you'll eat it. If social media is on your phone, you'll scroll it. Discipline becomes easier when you design your surroundings to support it. 5. Accountability systems. It's harder to quit when someone is watching. Tell a friend your goals, post your progress online, hire a coach. The fear of public failure often strengthens private discipline. The mindset shift, from restriction to freedom. Most people see discipline as restriction. If I say no to this, I'm missing out. But here's the truth. Discipline doesn't take away your freedom, it gives you freedom. Discipline in health gives you freedom from disease. Discipline in money gives you freedom from debt. Discipline in time gives you freedom from regret. The undisciplined are slaves to cravings, to laziness, to distraction. The disciplined are free because they control themselves, and by controlling themselves, they control their destiny. Real-world example: Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett is one of the richest men alive, but he doesn't live in luxury excess. He lives in the same modest house he bought decades ago. He avoids trends, ignores distractions, and focuses only on what he understands. His self-control, saying no to thousands of tempting opportunities, made him billion. Buffett once said, "The difference between successful people and really successful people is that really successful people say no to almost everything." That's the essence of step 2. Mastering self-control until no becomes your superpower. Step 3. Build ruthless consistency. The secret weapon of the unstoppable. If step 1 gave you purpose and step 2 gave you self-control, step 3 is about consistency, the bridge that turns discipline into results. You can have the greatest dreams in the world. You can resist temptations and distractions. But if you are not consistent, if you start and stop, sprint and collapse, get excited and then quit, you will never build anything that lasts. Success is never a single act of greatness. Success is the repeated application of small, consistent actions over time. In fact, most of the world's highest achievers are not the most talented, they are the most consistent. Why consistency outweighs talent? Think of 2 people. Ethan A is extremely talented, but works hard only when they feel like it. They show up for a few weeks, then disappear. Their energy comes in bursts, but it's inconsistent. Person B is average in skill, but they show up every single day, never missing. Their progress may look slow at first, but they compound. Who wins in the long run? Always person B, because talent can give you an early advantage, but consistency compounds exponentially. Talent without consistency burns out. Consistency without talent eventually surpasses talent. The compound effect of small habits. The greatest force in the world is not luck or talent, it's compounding. A tiny improvement repeated daily turns into massive change over time. Reading 10 pages a day, 3,650 pages in a year, about 12-15 books. Saving $10 a day, 3,650 dollars a year, tens of thousands invested over time. Exercising for 20 minutes a day, more than 120 hours of training in a year. Small actions don't look powerful in the short term, but repeated daily, they transform your life. The problem is most people underestimate consistency and overestimate motivation. That's why they keep restarting diets, keep trying new routines, keep chasing shiny strategies, instead of sticking with one thing long enough for it to work. Why most people fail to be consistent? It's not that people don't want success. Everyone does. The problem is people sabotage themselves by going too hard too fast. They go to the gym and train for 2 hours after years of inactivity. They burn out within a week. They start saving 50% of their income, but can't sustain it. Consistency requires sustainability. Obsessing over motivation, they wait for the perfect mood to take action. But consistency doesn't care about moods. It's built on structure, not feeling. All or nothing thinking. They think if they miss one day, the streak is broken, so they quit. But success isn't perfection, it's persistence. One missed day doesn't ruin you, but quitting does. Measuring too soon. They expect instant result. When they don't see progress in a week, they give up. They forget that consistency builds results on a delayed timeline. The psychology of consistency. Consistency is less about willpower and more about identity. If you only see yourself as someone trying to lose weight, you'll struggle to stay consistent. But if you shift your identity to, I am a healthy person, I take care of my body, then working out isn't something you do, it's who you are. The same applies to money. Don't say, I'm trying to save money. Instead say, I am disciplined with money. I invest in my future. Identity drives behavior. When your actions align with who you believe you are, consistency becomes natural. Strategies to build unbreakable consistency. Here's how to hardwire consistency into your life. 1. The rule of non-negotiables. Decide which actions are non-negotiable daily. Even if you're tired, even if you're busy, even if you're uninspired, you do them. These should be small enough to be doable, but powerful enough to matter. Example, write 1 page a day, save at least $5 daily, do 20 push-ups. 2. Track your streaks. The human brain loves progress. Seeing a streak of consecutive days triggers motivation to keep going. Use a habit tracker, a calendar, or even a notebook. Cross off each successful day. It builds momentum you won't want to break. 3. Anchor new habits to old ones. Want to build a new habit? Attach it to something you already do daily. For instance, meditate right after brushing your teeth. Read 10 minutes after breakfast. This reduces decision fatigue and makes habits automatic. 4. Start small. Scale later. Consistency thrives on small wins. It's better to do 5 minutes daily than 2 hours inconsistently. Once you've locked in the habit, increase gradually. Remove the option to quit. Successful people don't give themselves escape routes. If you're committed, treat it as permanent. Don't say, I'll try this diet. Say, this is my lifestyle now. Burn the bridges that lead back to old habit. Real-world example. Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant, one of the greatest basketball players in history, wasn't just talented, he was insanely consistent. He would wake up at 4 a.m. to train every day, long before his teammates even got out of bed. He didn't train only when he felt like it. He trained when he was tired, when he was sore, when he was already at the top of his game. His consistency built a work ethic that separated him from everyone else. When asked about his secret, he once said, I'm not negotiating with myself. The deal was already made. That's what consistency is. A decision made once, then executed daily, without debate. The long-term payoff. Consistency is invisible in the short term, but undeniable in the long term. At first nobody notices. You don't see the muscles, you don't see the savings account growing, you don't see the skills improving. But then after months or years of showing up, the results explode. Suddenly you're called lucky. Suddenly people ask, how did you do it? But the truth is, you built it brick by brick, day by day, while everyone else was inconsistent. That's why consistency isn't sexy. It's powerful. It's the secret weapon of the unstoppable. Step 4. Master self-discipline through delayed gratification, choosing long-term victory over short-term pleasure. If consistency is the bridge that carries you forward, then delayed gratification is the engine of greatness. It's the art of sacrificing what feels good right now for what is infinitely more rewarding later. Most people fail in life not because they aren't smart or talented or capable, but because they keep choosing short-term comfort over long-term growth. They choose the burger over the workout, the party over the project, the impulse purchase over the investment. They are trapped in the prison of instant gratification. But if you want to rise above average, if you want to become unstoppable, You must reprogram your mind to delay gratification. This is the cornerstone of discipline. It is the ability to endure discomfort now for the sake of rewards that others will never taste. The science of delayed gratification. The marshmallow test. Back in the 1960s, a Stanford psychologist named Walter Mischel ran a famous experiment that revealed one of the most powerful predictors of success. He placed a marshmallow in front of children and gave them two choices: taste it, eat it now, or wait 15 minutes and they would get 2 marshmallows. Some children ate it right away. Others fought the urge, distracted themselves, sang songs or looked away, and waited. Decades later, researchers followed up with these children. The ones who waited, who delayed gratification, were far more successful in nearly every measure of life. Higher test scores, better health, stronger relationships, and greater financial stability. The lesson is clear. The ability to delay gratification predicts long-term success better than raw intelligence or talent. Why delayed gratification is so hard? You're living in the most dangerous time in human history when it comes to discipline. Why? Because everything around you is designed to hijack your brain's reward system. Social media feeds flood you with dopamine hits every few seconds. Fast food gives you instant pleasure while destroying your health long-term. Buy now, pay later culture makes it easy to spend money you don't even have. Entertainment is endless, cheap, and addictive. Your brain was wired for survival in a world of scarcity, but now it lives in a world of abundance. And abundance without control leads to destruction. That's why you must actively train yourself to resist. These are psychology of choosing later over now. Delayed gratification isn't about punishment. It's about rewiring how you see time and rewards. The average mind thinks, I want pleasure now, and I'll deal with consequences later. The disciplined mind thinks, I'll endure discomfort now, so I can reap extraordinary rewards later. This mental shift separates mediocrity from greatness. Every time you delay gratification, you are literally telling your brain, I am not controlled by impulses, I am controlled by vision. And over time, this builds confidence, self-respect, and power. Strategies to train delayed gratification. So how do you build this muscle? Here are powerful ways. 1. Start with small delays. Don't begin by denying yourself everything. Start small. Wait 10 extra minutes before eating. Delay checking your phone notifications by an hour. Hold off on unnecessary purchases for 24 hours. Each victory builds mental strength. 2. Use the 10-10-10 rule. Ask yourself, how will this decision feel in 10 minutes? How will it feel in 10 months? How will it feel in 10 years? That burger might feel good in 10 minutes, but will it help you in 10 years? That $200 impulse shopping spree might excite you today, but does it make you richer a decade from now? 3. Reward yourself later, not now. Don't eliminate pleasure, just postpone it. Work first, then reward. Train your brain to associate pleasure with accomplishment, not escape. 4. Visualize the end game. Your brain struggles with delayed gratification because the reward feels invisible. Make it visible. Print a picture of the body you want and stick it on your wall. Track your savings in a graph so you see it grow. Journal about your future self, describing in detail the life you're building. When the reward feels real, you're more willing to wait. 5. Practice pain before pleasure rituals. Before watching TV, do 30 minutes of work. Before eating dessert, eat vegetables. Before scrolling your phone, finish your task list. Train your brain to expect discipline before reward. Real-world example. Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett is one of the richest men alive, yet he built his wealth not through flashy risks, but through relentless delayed gratification. While most people chase quick money, Buffett invests in businesses he holds for decades. While others spend to show off, he lived in the same modest house for decades. While others jump into trends, he patiently waits for opportunities. His secret is simple. He values the future more than the present. He once said, "The stock market is a device for transferring money from the impatient to the patient." This doesn't just apply to money. Life itself is a transfer of rewards from those who choose instant gratification To those who wait, the war between now you and future you. Every decision you make is a battle between two versions of yourself. Now you craves comfort, ease and dopamine. Future you craves growth, wealth and freedom. When you give in to now you betray your future. You steal from your future bank account, your future body, your future dreams. But every time you choose future you cast a vote for the life you want. You feed the identity of the strong, disciplined version of yourself. Over time, those votes add up to greatness. The long-term payoff of mastering delayed gratification. The person who chooses to invest instead of spend becomes wealthy. The person who chooses to train instead of binge watch becomes fit. The person who chooses to study instead of scroll becomes wise. It's not about luck, it's about hundreds of small decisions stacked in favor of future you. And here's the ultimate truth. The person who can delay gratification the longest wins the biggest, because they can endure the silence, the boredom, the grind, the years of invisibility that others can't. That's why disciplined people seem unstoppable. They've simply mastered the patience to collect rewards the world is too impatient to wait for. Step 5. Build unbreakable mental toughness. The core of discipline. Every great achievement in history was born from minds that refused to break when tested. Soldiers in war, athletes in the final moments of exhaustion, entrepreneurs after multiple failures, all of them leaned on one thing: mental toughness. Discipline is about habits. Consistency is about action. Delayed gratification is about patience. But none of them can stand if your mind folds under pressure. That's why mental toughness is the foundation upon which everything else rests. Without it, the student drops out when exams feel overwhelming. The dreamer abandons their vision when mocked by others. With it, pushing when your body screams stop. You keep moving when life throws failure after failure. You keep believing when no one else does. Mental toughness is not about never feeling pain, fear, or doubt. It's about feeling them fully, but acting anyway. Gage. What exactly is mental toughness? Mental toughness is the ability to stay focused, resilient, and determined under stress. It's the refusal to let emotions dictate your choices. It means, when others crumble, you hold steady. When others retreat, you advance. When others complain, you adapt. It's not a gift. It's a muscle you build through repeated exposure to difficulty. The enemies of mental toughness. Before we build it, let's expose the enemies that weaken it. Comfort addiction. A soft life makes a soft mind. Comfort is the enemy of resilience. Fear of failure. Those who can't stomach loss never survive long enough to win. Excuses and justifications. Every excuse weakens mental armor. A comparison. Measuring yourself against others instead of focusing on your path drains strength. Entitlement. Believing you deserve results without effort kills discipline. To forge toughness, you must first identify where these enemies live in your life, and then destroy them. The science of mental toughness. Psychologists studying Navy SEAL training discovered something fascinating. SEAL candidates face some of the most brutal physical and psychological challenges imaginable. Most quit, not because they're physically weak, but because they're mentally unprepared. The ones who make it, they share common traits. They break big challenges into small chunks. One more step, one more hour. They talk to themselves positively under stress. They visualize success before it happens. They accept pain as part of the process, not a sign to stop. Science proves your brain gives up before your body does. That means toughness is about mastering the dialogue in your head, not just the strength in your muscles. How to build unbreakable mental toughness. 1. Expose yourself to hardship daily. Stop running from discomfort. Run toward it. Take cold showers. Wake up earlier than you want. Do the workout when you least feel like it. Practice micro hardships every day. Every small victory against comfort strengthens your tolerance for bigger battles. Develop the next step mindset. When overwhelmed, don't think about surviving the whole journey. Think only about the next step. A marathon runner doesn't think about 26 miles. he thinks about the next stride. A soldier in boot camp doesn't think about 6 months. He thinks about making it to sunrise. You don't need to conquer the mountain all at once. Just focus on the next rock to climb. 3. Control your self-talk. Your inner voice will try to break you before life does. Replace "I can't do this" with "let's see how far I can go." Replace "this is impossible" with "this is training for the impossible." Replace "I'm tired" with "I'm getting stronger." Your words shape your endurance. Visualize pain as progress. Reframe suffering. Don't see it as punishment. See it as transformation. Every hardship is proof that you're moving beyond the ordinary. 5. Practice the rule of 40%. Navy SEALs teach that when your mind says you're done, you're really only 40% finished. That means you have more than double the energy, strength, and resilience left inside you. Next time you want to quit, remind yourself, "I'm only at 40%. There's more in me." 6. Set impossible goals and attack them. Pick challenges that scare you, not because you'll always succeed, but because struggling against the impossible stretches your capacity. Run further than you ever have. Write more than you think you can. Save more than you thought possible. Whether you succeed or fail, you expand your limits. Real-world examples of mental toughness. Nelson Mandela, 27 years in prison. He came out not broken, not bitter, but stronger. With vision intact, he endured isolation, rejection, and injustice, yet refused to surrender his principles. That is toughness. Michael Jordan, cut from his high school team, told he wasn't good enough. Instead of quitting, he trained harder than anyone. His relentless drive, even after victory, made him the greatest. Thomas Edison, over 1,000 failed attempts at creating the light bulb. Each failure wasn't defeat. It was data. He reframed pain as progress. His toughness lit the world. Mental toughness in everyday life. You don't need to be an athlete, a billionaire, or a freedom fighter to apply toughness. When you study instead of scrolling, that's toughness. When you go to the gym after work, that's toughness. When you keep working on your side hustle after rejection, that's toughness. When you refuse to let one failure define you, that's toughness. Everyday toughness compounds into extraordinary resilience. The identity shift. True toughness isn't about pretending to be unbreakable. It's about becoming the kind of person who thrives in difficulty. Don't say, "I'm trying to be tough." Say, "I am tough. Hardship is my training ground." When you identify as tough, challenges no longer surprise you. They serve you. The payoff of mental toughness. Success in business. You'll keep grinding when others give up. Success in fitness. You'll push beyond the plateau where others quit. Success in life. You'll turn obstacles into opportunities. And the greatest reward, freedom. Freedom from fear, doubt, and weakness. Freedom to pursue goals so audacious that others laugh until they see you achieve them. Because here's the truth. The world doesn't belong to the smartest or most talented. It belongs to the tough. Step 6. Master the system, building the framework of an unstoppable life. Discipline by itself is powerful. Habits by themselves are useful. Mental toughness by itself is crucial. But here's the truth. Most people fail not because they lack motivation or strength, but because they lack a system. A system is the invisible engine that keeps your life moving even when you feel tired, unmotivated, or overwhelmed. Motivation fades, willpower weakens. But a system once built runs on autopilot. If step 5 gave you the armor, step 6 gives you the blueprint, the structure that transforms scattered effort into inevitable success. Why a system matters more than motivation. Think of 2 people starting a journey to fitness. S. I'll work out whenever I feel motivated. Some days they go, some days they don't. Their progress is inconsistent. Person B says, "I'll work out every morning at 7 a.m. Clothes ready. Playlist prepared. Non-negotiable. Whether motivated or not, they show up. A year later, their body and mind are transformed. The difference? System over motivation. Motivation is emotional. Systems are structural. If you want to outshine others, you must stop relying on the unstable fuel of motivation and start building systems that keep you moving forward, no matter what. The aims. The psychology of systems. Your brain is lazy by default. It wants shortcuts. It wants the path of least resistance. That's why habits exist, because the brain automates repeated actions to save energy. But here's the twist. You can hijack this natural mechanism to work in your favor. By designing your environment and routines, you make the desired behavior the path of least resistance and the negative behavior the path of maximum resistance. For example, if you want to read more, put books on your desk and hide your phone in another room. If you want to eat clean, prepare meals ahead of time and don't keep junk food in the house. If you want to save money, automate your savings so it happens before you even see the cash. That's the system at work. Design beats discipline. How to build your system of self-mastery. Design morning and evening routines. Your morning sets your tone. Your evening sets your reset. Morning routine. Wake up at the same time, hydrate, move your body, plan your top 3 tasks and avoid distractions. Start with discipline, not dopamine. Evening routine. Disconnect from screens, reflect on the day, prepare for tomorrow, and wind down with intention. Consistency here creates momentum that compounds daily. 2. Use keystone habits. Not all habits are equal. Some habits unlock a chain reaction of positive behavior. These are called keystone habits. Examples. Exercise. Exercise boosts energy, confidence and discipline in all areas. Reading. Expands knowledge, sharpens focus, and reduces wasted time. Planning. Eliminates chaos, increases productivity, lowers stress. Find one keystone habit and protect it at all costs. It will make everything else easier. 3. Automate good choices. If you rely on willpower, you've already lost. Instead, design your life so good choices happen automatically. Automatic savings withdrawals. Pre-scheduled workout, meal prepping on Sundays, turning off notifications. Make success automatic. 4. Build an environment that forces discipline. You are not stronger than your environment, you are shaped by it. If your system is weak, your environment will defeat you. If your system is strong, your environment will support you. Measure and track relentlessly. What you don't measure, you can't improve. Winners keep score. Track your 6. Break big goals into systems of action. A dream without a system is just fantasy. Break it down. Dream. I want to start a business. System. Write 500 words daily on your business plan. Make 5 sales calls every day. Reinvest 30% of profits. Dream. I want financial freedom. System. Save 20% of income. Invest monthly. Avoid debt. Learn continuously. Big visions require small systems. 7. Create rituals for hard work. Hard work becomes easier when you ritualize it. That means linking effort to a repeated cue. Athletes wear the same warm-up outfit before games. CEOs review their mission statement every morning. These rituals condition the brain. This is work mode now. Case studies. Systems that built greatness. Warren Buffett. The reading machine. Buffett reads 500 pages per day. His system, carve out time every day to read. No exceptions. That simple system compounded into the sharpest financial mind in history. Serena Williams. Ritual and routine. Serena's daily practice, diet, and recovery systems kept her at the top of tennis for decades. It wasn't talent alone. It was repeatable structure. Steve Jobs. Simplicity of choice. Jobs wore the same black turtleneck and jeans every day. His system eliminated decision fatigue, reserving mental energy for innovation. Talent systems with flexibility. Here's the paradox. A system must be strict, but not rigid. Life throws curveballs. You must bend without breaking. Think bamboo, strong but flexible. Your system should guide you, not imprison you. If you miss one workout, your system says get back tomorrow. No guilt, no spiral, just recalibration. The identity shift through systems. Systems are not just routines. They're a declaration of identity. The disciplined don't try to be disciplined. They live in disciplined systems. The wealthy don't try to save. They have systems that build wealth. The fit don't try to be healthy. They have systems that keep them strong. When you build systems, you stop fighting battles every day. The system fights for you. The payoff. Why systems create unstoppable people. Clarity. No confusion about what to do. Consistency. No skipping because you don't feel like it. Momentum. Progress compounds automatically. Freedom. Ironically, systems create freedom. Freedom from chaos, stress, and wasted effort. Discipline is not about suffering forever. It's about designing a life so efficient, so intentional, that success becomes your default. Step 7. Declare war on laziness. Conquer procrastination and destroy the inner enemy. If there is one enemy that ruins more dreams than poverty, more careers than failure, and more lives than bad luck, it is laziness. Laziness is not just resting. Laziness is the silent thief of potential. It whispers, "Do it tomorrow." It convinces you that comfort today is worth more than progress tomorrow. And before you realize it, days become weeks, weeks become years, and you find yourself trapped in a cycle of regret. This is why you must treat laziness not as a bad habit, but as an enemy of your destiny. And like any enemy, it must be studied, understood, and destroyed with precision. Understanding the psychology of laziness. Laziness is rarely about lack of ambition. Most people want to succeed. Laziness comes from PK, fear of difficulty. When the brain senses effort, it looks for shortcuts. Fear of failure. Subconsciously, people avoid starting because they don't want to face the possibility of failing. Dopamine hijacking. Social media, fast food, and instant pleasures train the brain to crave easy rewards over long-term results. Lack of structure. Without systems. Step 6. Laziness fills the vacuum. The truth is, laziness is not who you are. Laziness is simply untrained impulses, winning over your disciplined self. Strategy 1. Reprogram your identity. The lazy person says, "I'm just lazy by nature." The disciplined person says, "I'm the kind of person who gets things done." Notice the difference. It's not about action, it's about identity. If you identify as lazy, your brain justifies lazy behavior. If you identify as disciplined, your brain looks for ways to confirm it. So you must affirm, daily, "I am the type of person who follows through. I am the type of person who values effort over comfort. I am the type of person who refuses to waste time." Identity always precedes action. Change the story you tell yourself, and laziness will start losing ground. Strategy 2. Kill the motivation myth. Waiting to feel motivated is laziness in disguise. The truth is simple: action comes before motivation. Once you start moving, motivation follows. Think about it. Have you ever forced yourself to work out, only to feel energized once you started? That's the principle. The lazy wait for motivation. The disciplined create momentum. Strategy 3. Break tasks into small, non-negotiable units. Procrastination often comes from overwhelm. The brain sees a giant task and says, "Too much. Let's avoid it." The solution: break tasks down to ridiculously small actions. Say, "I'll drink 1 glass of water and take a 15-minute walk." Tiny actions build momentum. Momentum destroys laziness. Strategy 4. Declare war on comfort. The greatest trap of laziness is comfort. Your bed is comfortable. Netflix is comfortable. Scrolling is comfortable. But comfort is the killer of greatness. Discipline means choosing discomfort now for freedom later. Laziness chooses comfort now and pays with regret later. Here's the equation you must live by. Comfort, temporary pleasure, long-term regret. Discipline, temporary pain, long-term freedom. When you truly internalize this, laziness loses its appeal. Strategy 5. Use the 2-minute rule. If something takes less than 2 minutes, do it immediately. Answer that email, wash that dish, fold that shirt. Why? Because unfinished tasks drain your mental energy. Laziness feeds on clutter and procrastination. The 2-minute rule kills that cycle before it begins. G 6. Engineer your environment against laziness. As we said in step 6, you are not stronger than your environment. If laziness is winning, look at your surroundings. Is your phone on your desk? You'll scroll instead of working. Is your fridge full of junk? You'll eat badly. Is your bed next to your laptop? You'll nap instead of producing. Change your environment to remove lazy options. Make the productive choice the easy choice. Pay. In-store accountability. Laziness thrives in secrecy. When no one knows whether you're working or not, it's easy to slack. But when you're accountable, laziness has no room to hide. Tell a friend your goals. Hire a coach. Announce deadlines publicly. Use apps that track your progress. Accountability weaponizes social pressure against laziness. Reframe laziness as the most expensive habit. People think laziness is free. I'll just rest. No harm done. But laziness has a hidden cost. The cost of opportunities lost. Every workout skipped, weaker health, less energy. Every hour wasted, missed skill, missed business, missed wealth. Every year of laziness, dreams delayed, goals forgotten. Laziness is not harmless. It is the most expensive habit you can have. Productive rest. Rest is not laziness. But there's a difference between strategic recovery and lazy escape. Lazy escape, binging Netflix for hours. Strategic recovery, 30 minutes of meditation, stretching, or a power nap. Learn to rest without falling into laziness. Rest should recharge you, not drain you further. Not drain you further. You must become ruthless with yourself. No snooze button. No just 5 more minutes. No I'll do it tomorrow. Excuses must disgust you. You must reach a point where being lazy feels unnatural, even shameful. Real-world examples. Beating laziness to build greatness. Elon Musk, known for 100-hour work weeks. Does he feel lazy sometimes? Absolutely. But his standard of discipline doesn't allow him to stop. Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, up at 4 a.m. daily to train before anyone else. He knows that laziness is the gap between him and the competition. J.K. Rowling wrote Harry Potter while broke, raising a child and battling depression. Laziness was not an option. Discipline was survival. They all faced the temptation of laziness. They crushed it with ruthless action. The warrior mindset. Imagine laziness as an enemy soldier. Every time you give in, hitting snooze, delaying work, you let the enemy advance. But every time you fight, standing up, doing the work, you push the enemy back. This is not just about tasks. It's about a war for your future. Win today, you win momentum. Win momentum, you win habits. Win habits, you win life. Laziness is not harmless. Laziness is war, and you must be relentless in your fight. The legacy perspective. Ask yourself, when you're old, looking back, what will you regret? The times you worked hard? No. The times you sacrificed comfort? No. The times you wasted years being lazy? Yes. Discipline creates legacy. Laziness creates regret. And regret is the heaviest weight a human can carry. Step 8. Master the art of unstoppable focus. Train your mind to lock in and win. Discipline without focus is like a sword without a sharp edge. You can swing all day, but you won't cut through anything. Focus is the multiplier of effort. It turns ordinary hours into extraordinary results. The truth is, we don't live in a world designed for focus. We live in a world designed for distraction. Social media, endless notifications, constant noise, all engineered to hijack your attention, split your concentration, and steal the very thing you need most to win: your ability to direct your mind like a laser. If laziness is your enemy, distraction is its strongest ally. So step 8 is about declaring war on distraction and building a fortress of focus around your mind. Here's the science. Your brain can only hold one conscious thought at a time. Multitasking is a lie. What you call multitasking is actually rapid switching, burning energy and producing shallow results. Focus thrives on clarity. If your goals are vague, your focus will scatter. If your goals are precise, your focus will wall in. The brain loves novelty. That's why distractions are addictive. Every ping, like or scroll releases dopamine. You must rewire your brain to find dopamine in progress, not cheap noise. Focus, then, is not about force. It's about structure, clarity, and training. Strategy 1-1. Define the one thing. Success requires ruthless clarity. You cannot focus on 10 things at once and expect greatness. Ask yourself daily, what is the one thing that if I accomplish it will make everything else easier or unnecessary? This principle, popularized in the book The One Thing by Gary Keller, is the foundation of unstoppable focus. Write it down, put it on your desk, let it dominate your attention until it's done. Dear. Strategy 2. Install the focus block system. Your brain cannot stay laser-focused for 8 hours straight. It operates in cycles of energy and attention. The key is to design focus blocks, 10-15 minutes of recovery. Repeat 3-4 times a day. During focus blocks, no phone, no notifications. Strategy 3. Kill digital distraction at the root. The Gen 1 killer of focus is the device you're probably reading this on. Smartphones are not phones anymore, they're distraction machines. Rules of the focused warrior. No phone in the bedroom. Sleep and focus begin with separation. Turn off notifications. If it's truly urgent, people will call. App blockers. Use tools like Freedom, Cold Turkey, or screen time limits. Designated scroll time. If you must use social media, assign it a window. Don't let it bleed into your workday. Your phone is either a tool or a trap. You decide. Strategy 3. Treat a ritual of focus. Every elite performer has rituals. Why? Because rituals signal the brain. It's time to lock in. Your ritual could be making coffee and sitting in the same chair. Writing down the first task before starting. The ritual doesn't matter. Consistency does. Over time, your brain will associate that ritual with deep focus. Entering flow faster. Strategy 3. Master the environment. Focus is fragile. If your environment is chaotic, your focus will collapse. Build an environment that makes distraction impossible. A clean desk. Tools within reach. Comfortable chair. Good lighting. Physical separation between work and leisure. Here's the rule. Don't rely on willpower. Engineer your surroundings. Strategy. Train your mind for flow. The highest state of focus is flow. When time disappears, distractions fade, and you're fully immersed in the task. Flow requires a clear goal, immediate feedback, a challenge slightly above your skill level. Too easy, boredom. Too hard, anxiety. The sweet spot, flow. Train yourself to push slightly beyond your comfort zone daily. That's how flow becomes your natural state. Strategy 3. Energy is focus. You cannot separate focus from energy. If your body is tired, your mind will scatter. So treat your body as a tool of focus. Sleep 7-9 hours, non-negotiable. Nutrition, clean fuel, low sugar, high hydration. Exercise not optional. Movement boosts brain function and mental clarity. Breathing, 5 deep breaths before work can reset your focus instantly. A sharp mind requires a strong body. Strategy 3. The rule of single task mastery. The average person is a jack of distractions, master of none. The disciplined person is a master of one. When you're writing, you're only writing. When you're reading, you're only reading. When you're with family, you're only with family. True focus means being fully present. Train yourself to live in the current task, not in mental tabs switching endless. Strategy 9. Replace dopamine loops with dopamine rewards. Social media, video games, junk food. They hack your dopamine system. That's why it's easier to scroll than to study. But you can rewire dopamine. Instead of rewarding yourself with distraction, reward yourself with progress. Track your streaks. Celebrate milestones. Enjoy the satisfaction of crossing items off a list. Turn focus into a game, and let your brain crave discipline. Strategy 10. Practice mental minimalism. Your focus is like a flashlight. If you shine it on too many things, nothing gets illuminated. If you shine it on one thing, it becomes blinding. Declutter your goals. Declutter your commitments. Declutter your mind. Say no more often. Stop chasing every shiny object. Choose fewer battles but fight them harder. The focused person achieves in years what the distracted person fails to achieve in a lifetime. Real-world examples of ruthless focus. Warren Buffett and Bill Gates. When asked for the single greatest factor behind success, both men wrote the same word: focus. Kobe Bryant, known for Mamba mentality, an obsession with training so deep that distractions simply didn't exist in his world. Nikola Tesla worked in obsessive focus sessions, shutting out the world to create inventions decades ahead of his time. History doesn't remember the scattered, it remembers the focused. The ultimate shift: focus as freedom. Distraction feels like freedom, but it's slavery to impulses. Focus feels like discipline, but it's true freedom. Why? Because when you master focus, you master time. And when you master time, you master life. The scattered man spends his days reacting. The focused man designs his destiny. Step 9. Build your empire. Turn discipline and focus into wealth, power, and legacy. By now you've fought laziness, slain procrastination, and mastered focus. But focus alone without a higher aim, like a sharpened sword left in its sheath. The true test of discipline is whether it can be scaled into something bigger than you. Something that outlives your moods, your setbacks, and even your lifetime. This is the empire building stage. Not necessarily an empire of kingdoms or corporations, but an empire of your own life, your wealth, your influence, your mastery, and your contribution to the world. The empire builder doesn't just discipline himself for today. He designs systems that continue working tomorrow, next year, and long after he's gone. The foundation: vision beyond the moment. The empire builder lives by vision, not by impulse. The average man asks, "What do I feel like doing right now?" The disciplined man asks, "What does my vision require of me today?" Vision is the compass that prevents distraction and misdirection. Without vision, even focused effort gets wasted. With vision, even small steps accumulate into unstoppable momentum. Write down your vision clearly. Step 9. Principle Den 1. Systems beat willpower. The empire builder knows that discipline is fragile if it depends only on emotion. Systems make discipline automatic. Examples of systems: fixed morning and evening routines. Setting clear weekly and monthly performance metrics. When discipline is wired into a system, you don't need constant motivation. You simply follow the path you already built. Wealth is a direct result of creating, multiplying, and protecting value. The disciplined builder focuses on creating value, developing skills, products or services that solve real problems, multiplying value, using leverage, people, technology, capital, and network, protecting value, discipline in saving, investing, and building assets that grow over time. The lazy man chases shortcuts. The disciplined man builds foundations. Step 9. Principle Den 3. Build capacity, not just results. An empire is not built by one great achievement. It's built by capacity, the ability to keep producing results under pressure. How do you build capacity? Resilience training, learning to thrive under setbacks, skill stacking, combining disciplines, communication, leadership, finance, strategy, long-term endurance, building routines you can sustain for decades. When others break, you bend and return stronger. That is capacity. Step 9. Principle Den 4. The power of positioning. Discipline, poor focus are wasted if you're fighting in the wrong arena. The empire builder chooses his battlefield wisely. Ask yourself, am I in an environment that rewards my strength? Am I surrounding myself with people who multiply my growth? Am I building something that compounds with time? Chess masters don't just play the board. They position their pieces for checkmate. Empire builders do the same in life. Step 9. Principle Den 5. Scale through leverage. One disciplined person can achieve much, but to build an empire, you need leverage. Leverage is multiplying your efforts, without multiplying your hours. Examples: sales, money, invest, don't just save, make capital work harder than you, people, build teams, delegate, lead. One person's focus is strong, but 10 aligned people's focus is unstoppable. Technology: automate what you can, use tools to amplify your productivity. Knowledge: document what you learn so others can replicate it. Discipline without leverage builds a strong life. Discipline with leverage builds an empire. Step 9 Principle Den 6. Guard against self-destruction. History is filled with empires that collapsed, not because of outside enemies, but because of inner decay. As you rise, your greatest threats will be comfort, lowering your standards once success arrives; distraction, chasing too many opportunities instead of mastering the right ones. The disciplined builder remains humble, vigilant, and relentless, no matter how high he climbs. Step 9 Principle Den 7. Legacy as the ultimate discipline. The disciplined life is not just about success, it's about significance. Ask yourself, if I stop today, what would remain? Empires are not measured by castles or companies alone, but by the lives you touched, the systems you built, the knowledge you left behind, and the example you set. Discipline is not selfish. True discipline inspires others, creates opportunities for many, and leaves a mark far beyond wealth. Real-world examples of empire discipline. Elon Musk, not just a disciplined worker, but an empire builder who uses focus, leverage, and vision to scale industries. Nelson Mandela, his discipline was not about money or power, but about legacy, leaving behind freedom and a new future for millions. Great empires are not accidents, they are the results of disciplined choices compounded over time. The shift from self-mastery to world mastery. In earlier steps, discipline was about controlling yourself, your habits, your laziness, your focus. But now in step 9, discipline expands outward. It becomes about controlling your systems, controlling your environment, controlling your wealth, network, and influence. The lazy man thinks only of today. The disciplined man thinks of 10 years from now. The empire builder thinks of 100. Step 10 Discipline as destiny. Becoming unstoppable, unforgettable, and eternal. There comes a point when discipline is no longer just about habits, routines, or even success. It becomes a way of life so deeply ingrained that it defines who you are. You no longer try to be disciplined, you are discipline. At this stage, discipline evolves from being a tool into being your destiny. You stop chasing success and start attracting it, not because of luck or timing, but because your entire existence radiates mastery. This is the level where ordinary people cannot touch you, where competition disappears, where laziness and excuses dissolve into dust because you've climbed into a different realm of being. Discipline is no longer about making money or even building empires. It becomes about impact, legacy, immortality. The final shift from self-discipline to world discipline. Early on, discipline was about you, Daishu. Waking up on time, resisting distractions, staying consistent. Later it was about systems and empires, multiplying wealth, scaling influence, building capacity. But the final level, it's about disciplining the world around you. Your habits influence your team. Your words shape your community. Your example inspires generations. At this level, you don't just discipline yourself, you discipline reality itself. You create order from chaos. Kublis Principle Den 1. Vision turns into destiny. When you begin, vision feels like a dream. Something far away, fragile, uncertain. But through years of discipline, vision hardens into destiny. What you once hoped for becomes inevitable. Why? Because every disciplined action compounds into unstoppable force. A man who disciplines himself daily cannot be denied. A woman who masters her focus cannot be ignored. A leader who builds systems cannot be replaced. Destiny is not chance. It is the result of disciplined vision executed over time. Principle Den 2. Transcend the cycle of weakness. Most people live trapped in cycles: laziness, effort, distraction, failure, restart. They rise for a moment, fall, and repeat. At step 10, you break that cycle forever. You no longer operate on motivation. You no longer rise and fall with moods. You become steady, relentless, unmovable. Think of a river in its early stages. It's small, weak, easily blocked. But as it flows, it grows wider, deeper, unstoppable. By the time it reaches the ocean, no dam, no wall, no obstacle can hold it back. That's you in step 10. Discipline has carried you so far that nothing external can derail you anymore. Diction Principle Den 3. Mastery of mind and emotion. True destiny is not just about controlling time or money. It's about mastering your mind and emotions. The undisciplined man is a slave to anger, fear, doubt, lust, and greed. The disciplined master uses emotions as tools. Anger becomes fuel for action. Fear becomes information for preparation. Doubt becomes a signal for deeper study. Greed becomes ambition refined into vision. You don't suppress emotions, you command them, and once you master your inner world, the outer world follows. Principle 4. From success to significance. Success is personal. Significance is universal. A disciplined man in step 10 no longer asks, "How much can I achieve?" He asks, "How much can I give? How much can I build that outlasts me?" At this stage, you understand, wealth without impact is empty. Power without purpose is destructive. Discipline without meaning is slavery. The highest discipline is aligning every action with something greater than yourself. Principle Den 5. The Warrior King Philosophy. To reach destiny, you must live like the warrior king. The warrior in you keeps fighting, disciplined, sharp, unrelenting. The king in you builds, structured, visionary, legacy-driven. Most people choose one or the other. Some fight without building. Others build without the strength to defend. The step 10 man is both. He builds empires and protects them. He creates wealth and guards it with discipline. This balance creates unstoppable power. Principle Den 6. Immortality of impact. When discipline becomes destiny, your life no longer ends with death. Your systems live on. Your influence echoes. Your impact compounds. Think of Steve Jobs. His disciplined pursuit of perfection reshaped entire industries. Muhammad Ali. His disciplined training, words and courage still inspire. They are gone, but their discipline lives forever. That is immortality of impact. Thievery Principle Den 7. The point of no return. Step 10 is the point of no return. Once you reach it, you cannot go back to being average. You cannot tolerate laziness, weakness, or excuses. Discipline becomes your oxygen. You don't force it anymore. You breathe it. At this stage, waking early feels natural. Saying no to distractions feels easy. Pushing through obstacles feels normal. You have transcended effort. You have entered flow. Principle Den 8. Destiny is not luck. It's design. Too many people believe destiny is written in the stars, but the disciplined master knows destiny is written in habits, choices, and persistence. Every day, you carve your future with disciplined action. Every decision is a stroke of the chisel. Over years, the masterpiece appears. Destiny is not fate. Destiny is discipline applied until the future has no choice but to bow to you. The call to greatness. You started this journey wanting to escape laziness. You built habits. You forged focus. You created systems. You scaled into empires. And now, in step 10, you rise into destiny itself. Here, nothing can stop you. Not fear, not failure, not enemies, not time. Because discipline is no longer what you do, it is who you are, and that is the greatest power a human being can possess. To be so unshakable, so relentless, so disciplined, that you bend reality itself. That is destiny, that is mastery, that is immortality.